Insight 204. Sex is not the most pleasurable aspect of life. You can remain steadfast in guarding your mind from exaggerated, misleading information by control of your attention on an inner state of peace and becoming familiar with the methods of influence. So you want to figure out, of course, identify the influences and the methods of these influences, such as their potency and how they work. Also become aware of an inner state of peace, of being self-collected, and how that feels. Quite pleasurable. So, sex is not the most pleasurable aspect of life. I'm referring to the state of peace as being quite pleasurable. Self-awareness, as we talked about before. Alright, so I'm going to read under the explanation, example Q2. Single activities explained and named. Misplaced emphasis on sexual pleasure as the most pleasurable aspect of life and lauding its glories invariably gains popular attention and prominence in the minds of individuals. You ought to notice that the misinformation projects its influence and potency through the senses to affect the mind. You must not allow the inflow of data to flood the mind. This is done by control of your focus into a neutral state. Focus on any single simple task, such as humming, singing, playing tennis, or focus on an inner state of peace. In this manner, there is a minimization of attention close to zero upon the assaulting data. So if data is approaching, and you're focusing on peace, or you're playing tennis, you're not so focused on this data much. This you must do out of a clear understanding that any form of mind assault, sexual or otherwise, uses sensory or mental overwhelm, association, connection of ideas, that is, subtlety, being crafty, right? Introducing it to you indirectly, and or trickery to achieve its objective of grabbing the focus of the mind, thereby controlling it. So it's all about grabbing the attention of the mind using overt, overwhelm, or by subtle, crafty means. This you must understand. And you focus on, you understand the methods, you stay away from them. You identify them, you stay away from them. And you focus your mind on a state of peace. You determine your own state of reality that your mind will be exposed to and experience, which is what you want: peace, togetherness, clarity, calmness, stability. And when influences come that are chaotic, overwhelming, subtly crafty, you can identify them, and you stay away from them. Don't allow them into your mind greatly. Having known the method of infiltration. Oh, hello doggies, how are you doing? No peeing here. Having known the method of infiltration. Hello doggie, how are you doing? Having known the method of infiltration, you who are attempting to remain aware of these assaults. Having known the method of infiltration, you who are attempting to remain aware of these assaults, instead of being fooled by them, become expert at dodging attempts at mind manipulation. You must, as a matter of first priority, achieve a mental state of equilibrium and actively maintain it throughout the day and night. So you start with equilibrium and you maintain it. That is your thing that you have to do. Any hurriedness and stress in any activity has a potential to program the mind to learn to operate in a state of imbalance. So you're training your mind to be in balance. You're training your mind to be calm and relaxed and joyful under your direct control. And to do so, You want to stay away from hurried actions, because hurried means little thinking. So you're liable in a hurried state to do things you don't want to do, say things you don't want to mean to say. Um, you just can't make decisions. You need to slow things down, be at a moderate level, meaning a medium state, so that you can think about what you want to do because in order for you to make a decision, you need to think. And in order to think, thinking takes time. So this time is necessary for you and you need to do things in a moderate, slow manner. And doing this trains your mind to be in that state always, rather than a hurried. If you remain in a hurried state, you train your mind to be that way, and it's going to react that way and be that way for many other activities, such as you're talking with your friends or being influenced by sexual information. You're liable to quickly go along and interact with it. You don't want that. This leads to imbalance in the rest of your life, including imbalance of sex. Cultivate balance. Control the mind for it to be used to balance yourself. The single activity you choose can be the simplest thing. What we're talking about is this is done by control of your focus into a neutral state. Focus on any single simple task, such as humming, tennis, singing, any one task. You could be just thinking about peace, thinking of the trees, how beautiful it is, listening to the birds chirping, whatever. You're using this single activity to focus the attention of your mind, so that your mind is calm and relaxed. You're controlling your mind by focusing on one task, a simple task that is peaceful. Also, doing a simple task, it requires very little effort from your mind, but while it's doing that, it's distracted from all the troubles in the world. Therefore, this is how it works. This is how the calmness of the mind is achieved. So, the single activity you choose can be the simplest thing. I will provide you some examples. Arranging children's blocks to any form you like. Dancing. Tapping the desk. Moving an object back and forth. And going for a walk. The criteria for the activities are for them to be repetitious or for the activity to be done for a long time, and simple enough to not add stress to the mind. When you are engaged in such activities, your mind is busy with a simple task, and therefore it is distracted by the variety of data that surrounds you. Since the mind is focused on this one task, it is controlled, centered, and calm. It has essentially stopped the inflow of a variety of data because it is focused on the one simple task.